you winging your recovery process? If so, today is the day to change that. Because if you are winging your recovery and you don't have a goal and you don't have focus and you don't have structure and you don't know exactly what it is that you need to be doing to establish strong, good quality recovery and well-being, you're going to fall into pitfalls. You are going to potentially relapse. You won't have consistency in your recovery. You won't be tracking how you're doing. You won't feel as motivated or as invested in your recovery. So winging it, not having a plan, not having good support, not spending time on being in recovery is going to be a problem. Tell yourself that from today, I am no longer going to be winging it, and I'm going to be invested and focused and really clear on some of those things that I know are going to be beneficial for me. And you know what? It's going to add to your sense of being in control. We experience stress and anxiety when things feel chaotic and out of control. By no longer winging your recovery and just having a focus, 3, 4, 5 things that you do really well every day and every week, is just going to allow you to feel more grounded in yourself, more grounded in your intentions, and just give you some perspective on where you're going and the progress that you've made. So what are the things that you can focus on if you are winging it? Think about it from a few areas. The first really being support. So what is your support network like? Are you talking to friends? Are you talking to family about how you're doing, what your plans are? Are you in any self-help recovery groups, whether that's Smart Recovery, any of the 12 steps, it might be even Life Ring, you could be in group therapy. Are you checking in with them on a regular basis, at the very least weekly? And if you are, you're going to be growing your support network. And listen, that is huge when it comes to establishing recovery. So getting support, are you in your therapy? Has your therapy fallen kind of to the wayside? Are you checking in with your therapist regularly, whether it's for half an hour or an hour a week, every week, every 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, depending on how you're doing? So if you don't have good, strong support, I think that that's going to be a problem. And one thing that we know is just so important in terms of establishing recovery and feeling strong in recovery is having a good support network, a good support structure, a good support system in terms of people checking in on how you are doing, how you're coping, how you're finding what you're going through, how it's going for you, and so that you have a space to just constantly connect. Recovery is about connection all the time. If you don't have a support structure in place today or this week, work out what is the best thing that I can do to build that support structure and really go after that. I think support is the single biggest thing that you can do for your recovery, particularly in that first year. What are the kind of supports that you're using? What are the interventions that you're using? So an intervention, it could be whether you're on medication, if you're giving up alcohol or substances, or if you are experiencing depression or any other disorders. Have you checked in with your GP? Are you on medication? Are you letting things like nutrition slide? So just check in with any of those important people in your life that have been a part of your recovery and talk to them about how you're doing. Other interventions might be things like staying in contact with if you're in an outpatient program or if you have a sponsor. So just check in with all of those people if you haven't done it for a while, and don't wing this recovery process. Because if you start winging it in early recovery, your recovery is just going to start sliding because it's not a focus for you. So some of the other things that you can also check on is, how am I doing in terms of my stress management? How am I doing in terms of exercise routine? Am I getting exercise? Am I burning off stress? Am I getting stressed out and I don't have anywhere to expend that energy? Go and create a nice, really simple exercise regime, whether that's a walk for half an hour or an hour every day, or getting to the gym for just 25 minutes. It might even just be sitting down and doing 20 minutes of kettlebells or stretches or weights. It doesn't matter, as long as you are starting to focus on that and have a little bit of structure to burn off any stress or anxiety or tension or anger, whatever it is that recovery is throwing at you at the moment. What about, how's your relaxation going? Have you been letting go of the importance of those therapeutic things like relaxation? Because when your stress is down, when your anxiety is down, when you're feeling less inner tension, when you're feeling calmer, when you're focusing on recovery, you're focusing on well-being. And that really does include the relaxation aspect. Is relaxation really difficult to get a hang of in early recovery in that first year? 100%. Because it's the opposite space to being in a state of dependency where you're always going, self-medicating, self-regulating, being hungover, maybe feeling guilt, shame, always going, running away from yourself, really. And so relaxation, it's kind of the parallel to that. It's letting yourself be in a space where you are just present in your body, heart rate down, nice deep breathing, slowing down. And so that's such a lovely aim. It's a lovely space to be working towards getting yourself into. Because when your relaxation and your quality of life is better, you are going to be better at managing stress, managing potential difficult situations that maybe you find yourself in, whether it's tension in the relationship or work stress, it doesn't matter. I guess carving out time for relaxation is just going to help you cope and function so much better. Keep an eye on the relaxation. Make sure it is just as important as some of those other things like the quality of sleep, the things that you're eating, the time that you have for yourself. Ask yourself, if I'm winging my recovery, am I winging other things as well? Am I getting so busy and distracted with maybe trying to repair a relationship that you're not focusing on yourself? Have you thrown yourself into work? Because again, it's just another way of being distracted from what you are trying to work through in terms of your recovery. Are you spending too much time out traveling so that you don't have to do this recovery work? If you are in recovery from substance abuse or alcohol abuse, maybe gambling addiction, porn addiction, whatever it is, the single most important thing for you in your life is getting a handle on establishing recovery. Because when you can get a handle on that, it frees up time for you to have a good quality of life. Don't wing your recovery. Sit down, start writing a diary, start putting in things that you can do that will allow you to focus on your recovery and the recovery well-being this week. So I hope that is some food for thought and that you really set some intentions that will work for you. Go back to what you did at the start, check in with your therapist, pop your sponsor a text, get to a meeting, whatever it is, just re-shift that focus back on your recovery, back on your well-being today and for the rest of the week.